Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is November 10th, 2022. We are in the New Testament and we are in the book of John, and we're going to read chapter 5, verse 19 to 47 today. All right, so where are we at in John's Gospel? Well, let's see. There are people who will tell you that Jesus uh, isn't God, that he was a good teacher, but he wasn't really divine. And we're going to kind of see the refutation of that idea, because if he was a good teacher, then this whole section we're getting ready to read doesn't make any sense, because Jesus is clearly teaching in here that he is God. There's no mistake about it. The language he's using, the images he's using, he is the Son of God. God gave him power to do what God can do and only God can do, which means that Jesus is calling himself God. He wants everyone to see that. That gives him the right to judge people, and he's going to be the final judge. He wants people to see that. And then he says, hey, you want to see the witnesses of it? That's what John was preaching was coming. And John pointed at me and said, that's the guy. So you wanted proof of that I'm him? Look at what John told you. And he says, but you know what? I don't need an earthly person to point to me. God told you. Look at what I'm doing. The lame walk, the sick are healed, the blind see, the dead get up and walk. Only God can do that. And I'm the one that's doing it right in front of you. That means I'm God. And if you don't want to believe that, look at the scriptures. All the scriptures are talking about me. And he especially uses that against the Pharisees, because they spent their entire lives studying the scriptures, looking for, what's the Messiah going to be? What is he going to do? What's he going to do when he get here? And Jesus is saying, the Messiah is right here in front of you. You spend all your time with your head in your book. Pull it out and look at me. I'm the Messiah. I'm who you're looking for. Look at what I'm doing. Look at what I'm saying. So let's go ahead and we're going to read this section. John chapter 5, verse 19 to 47. Jesus replied, truly I tell you, the Son is not able to do anything on his own, but only what he sees the Father doing. For whatever the Father does, the Son likewise does these things. For the Father loves the Son and shows him everything he is doing, and he will show him greater works than these, so that you will be amazed. And just as the Father raises the dead and gives them life, so the Son also gives life to whom he wants. The Father, in fact, judges no one, but has given all judgment to the Son, so that all people may honor the Son, just as they honor the Father. Anyone who does not honor the Son does not honor the Father who sent him. Truly I tell you, anyone who hears my words and believes him who sent me has eternal life and will not come under judgment, but is passed from death to life. Truly I tell you, an hour is coming and is now here when the dead will hear the voice of the Son of God, and those who hear will live. For just as the Father has life in himself, so also he has granted to the Son to have life in himself. And he has granted him the right to pass judgment because he is the Son of Man. Do not be amazed at this, because the time is coming when all who are in the graves will hear his voice and come out. Those who have done good things to the resurrection of life, but those who have done wicked things to the resurrection of condemnation. I can do nothing on my own. I judge only as I hear, and my judgment is just, because I do not seek my own will, but the will of him who sent me. If I testify about myself, my testimony is not true. There is another whose testimony about me. I know that the testimony he gives about me is true. You sent messengers to John, and he testified to the truth. I don't receive human testimony, but I say these things so that you may be saved. John was a burning and shining lamp, and you were willing to rejoice for a while in his light. But I have a greater testimony than John's, because of the works that the Father has given me to accomplish. These very works I am doing testify about me that the Father has sent me. The Father who sent me has himself testified about me. You have not heard his voice at any time, and you haven't seen his form. You don't have his word residing in you because you don't believe the one he sent. You pore over the scriptures because you think you have eternal life in them, and yet they testify about me. But you are not willing to come to me so that you may have life. I do not accept glory from people, but I know you, that you have no love for God within you. I have come in my Father's name, and yet you don't accept me. If someone else comes in his own name, you will accept him. How can you believe, since you accept glory from one another, but don't seek the glory that comes from the only God? Do not think that I will accuse you to the Father. Your accuser is Moses, on whom you have set your hope. For if you believed Moses, you would believe me, because he wrote about me. But if you don't believe what he wrote, how will you believe my words? May God bless the reading of his word. May God bless you. Bye.